Hey, welcome to my channel. As you can see, I am proper hyped today. I have been watching this show called Love is Blind. Shout out to Azumta for putting me onto this. She had like a whole rant on Instagram and I had to just watch it because one, I'm nosy and I love anything about relationships. So I just want to come and talk about some problematic couples and to talk about a few red flags that I have seen that I think people should look out for. So before I get into it, if you've not seen this, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. I'm not going to talk about everything, just a few of the couples, but if you don't want to know, if you've not watched it, then it's probably best to not watch this video. But go watch it and then come back and then we can discuss. How about that? Yeah? Okay. So basically, this Love is Blind is a Netflix program and it's an experiment that they're doing because today in the dating scene, you know, it's sort of very superficial. It's based on your pictures, what you look like, and really some of us do not even have a shot before even the first date because you don't look a certain way. But this program and experiment is basically to cut that bit out, to make people connect emotionally before the physical. So they have little pods. The girls and the boys live in separate parts of the building and they only talk to each other when they go into this pod, which is separated with a thin wall, and they just talk to each other, and that's how they date and get to know each other. And they have about 10 days to get to know each other and propose, and then after that they've got, I think, 4 weeks to sort of plan a wedding and then get married. So things move very quickly. This couple caught my attention. Lauren and Cameron, they seemed very genuine from the beginning. They were very emotional. I mean, she had him crying, they were crying together. The emotions were just high and they were the first couples to get engaged, and I'm sure it was like within a few days. He was sure that she was the one that she wanted to spend his life with, and she felt the same way. And I'm just like, yo, you guys are moving really quick. And this is the thing with emotional connection. It will have you thinking that you know this person for 10 years when you've only just been together for about 10 minutes. You just fall so far and you're so sure of yourself because in that little time, you've connected so much, you've asked all those deep questions. Also, remember that they don't have any connection to the outside world. They don't have mobile phones, they don't have internet. So they're just with each other, and even when they're not with each other, they're talking about each other to their friends and to the other girls and to the other guys. So it's really full on. So I'm not really amazed that they got engaged that quickly, because in the first stages of dating, these things happen, but obviously in the real life you just take it a bit longer, and then that phase, you know, you sort of come out of that phase. But these people are acting like little kids, all this puppy love stuff, like, oh, we were made for each other and whatnot. Girl. So they were the first couples to get engaged within like a few days, probably 3 or 4 days. But they're fine, they're not a problematic couple. The two couples that really stood out to me, well, actually there's 3 couples here that I'm going to talk about. So there's Barnett, Jessica, Amber, and Elsie. So Barnett is this guy that from the beginning, from the first dates, he made a connection with all these girls, and I think it's because obviously he's fun-loving, he's sarcastic, and a lot of the girls just liked him. I guess he just made them laugh. But then the problem with Barnett is he's one of those men that cannot make up his mind. So instead of really looking at these different women to see which one he really wanted to go far with, he didn't do that. He just strung all of them along until the very last minute when he had to propose, and then dumped them. I mean, who does that? He says one thing to one girl and then he says one thing to another girl. If a guy can make about 3 women feel like they've all got a chance with him, that is a problem. If you're with somebody, they should be able to make you feel like only you have a chance with them and nobody else. So this should have been a red flag to all the ladies, because they do talk when they go back, and they all knew that they all liked the same guy, but nobody was actually questioning the fact that, well, how come, you know, Amber feels so sure about her relationship with, or her dates with Barnett, and then I feel the same and Elsie feels the same too, because he's got a connection with every single one of them, and he's just, every time he goes on these dates, he just goes and he lies on the couch and he's just like chilling and he's just flirting. I mean, he's playing the field, he's enjoying the attention of these women, and this is the kind of man that you need to avoid. The indecisive man, the one that's playing the field, he's enjoying all the attention from the ladies. The way you pick them is how you keep them. He's not going to change. He's going to be a flirt and he's going to stress you out. So Barnett is the type of man that you need to avoid, because he will waste your life. So there's this triangle, this love triangle between Barnett, Jessica, and then Mark. Jessica is 34, Barnett is 27, and then Mark is 24. Jessica is really into Barnett. She has a great connection with him, but she also has a great connection with Mark. But she's really bothered about the fact that Mark is 10 years younger than her. So one time she was talking to Barnett, and then Barnett said that he would propose, and then the next day she asked him and he had changed his mind. So she was like, are you serious? Like, how can you just change your mind about proposing to me like that? And all this time Mark is out here pouring his heart out, telling Jessica how much he loves her and how he's ready and he's certain that she's the one. And Jessica was just like in 2 minds, because Barnett had just said to her that he would marry her. So she then went and flung Mark to the side. So after Barnett went back on his word, now Jessica goes flying back to Mark. Excuse me, I thought you just said that, you know, the age difference was a problem, and all of a sudden the age is not a problem anymore. It's just like, girl, she was desperate. Jessica was desperate. She didn't want to be alone. She isn't really into Mark, but the fact that she got rejected, she just couldn't deal with it. So it was just like Mark was her rebound, and that is so problematic, and I think this is gonna come out later. Mark also, on the other hand, was really upset about the whole situation, and then when Jessica then went back to him apologizing and said that, you know, Barnett has gone back on his word, what did Mark do? He took her back. I mean, why would you do that? Why? Obviously he's talking about how he knows his worth and blah blah blah, and that's great, but you were just someone's second choice. She only ran back to Mark because she got rejected by Barnett. He should have never taken her back, because that is also a red flag. Because you, a second ago, last night, you were an option. This lady was keeping her options open, and she was ready to lay Mark aside and go for Barnett. So that's that love triangle that we need to look out for. Also, after Jessica got turned out by Barnett, she went back into the house and she was literally on a ministry to you know, spread the word about how trash Barnett is and how all the other ladies shouldn't waste their time with him. But none of these ladies were hearing it, because all they were seeing is, oh, one down, you know, maybe I have more of a chance with Barnett. which is also wrong, because if he's done it to somebody, he can do it to you. You are not an exception. So a lot of women, when they look at how some men treat other women, they think, oh, that can never be me. Yes, it can. If he can do it to them, he can do it to you. The only problematic couple in episode 3 for me was Gianna and Damien. The episode started with Damien proposing to Gianna. You know, this guy is in here pouring out his heart, goes on one knee. Once he's done, instead of Gianna to say yes or no, she comes out with, I do not like roles and stereotypes or whatever, and how she does what she wants. And then she goes, so what I want you to do is to get up from your knees. So he gets up now, and then she says, you know, I've gotten to know you on a level, and you are my equal. So, and then she just dramatically gets down on her knees, and then she says, so Damien, will you marry me? Excuse me, what? Can women just stop doing this? She messed up the whole proposal. It was such a lovely proposal as well. She messed it up. And then Damien's on the other side crying, talking about how, yes, I'll marry you. Really? Like, really, people? So that's the only thing that stressed me about that episode. Like, Gigi, what are you doing? What are you doing, sis? This is just some of the things that I saw from episode 1 to 3. This is just me pointing out the problematic couples. Everybody else seem okay. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you're already watching the show. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about all these situationships going on in the show. And if you've not subscribed yet, please subscribe, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye.